here's the thing. For everybody listening, don't make the same mistake the Bengals just did in any facet of your life.
People are going to get hurt. It's the hockey season.
What about the Jared Cook play on the sideline?
I was very tempted to just put defense.
I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
Come on, Austin and I've been saying this ever since Joe Burrow got injured.
I don't really think the Dodgers are going to make the World Series this year. I feel like they'll make it to the NLCS.
The Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me.
Like you said, Ovechkin, he's getting older. He hasn't been playing as well as I imagined. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, but he hasn't started off this season as hot as I would hope.
Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week, talking about the playoffs. I'm Kevin, and I'm in a situation I know all too well, the 10-minute version. I am Kevin, joined by a man with a Green Bay Packers beanie. No shame. And I did send you a congrats, and thank you for being kind in the response. Another person was like, I'm so happy right now. I was like, thanks for rubbing it in. Austin.
Yeah, what a game. What a game. Well, we can start there, Kevin. You were at said game, so I want to get your first. When did you think it was over? And then what did you think was wrong being there? Was the atmosphere off from the beginning, or did it feel hype, or what was it kind of like being there?
Yeah, I've been at the Niners game, the 14-second quarterback draw. The energy, I love the AAC atmosphere the most compared to Jerry World. I've also been to the Seahawks. I was at that Seahawks playoff game a long time ago. That was fun. The atmosphere was really hyped at the beginning. For me, I was pretty, you knew I was already scared about this game. When it was 14-0, I was like, this is terrible. And 14-0 is when they got the interception, right? What was the Dak interception? Yeah, okay, yeah, that was huge.
No. The Dak interception, I think, is what made it 14.
Yeah, because he threw an interception, and then they scored pretty quick.
Yeah, and that was 14. And then I think the Packers punted. Then the Cowboys punted. Then the Packers went on that long drive, and then pick six, and then
yes. That was, so the vibe was great at the beginning. I was surrounded by Packers fans, and then it just died. I think I was in my phone the entire maybe third quarter. You could hear "Go Pack Go" when it was just dead silent, and then, and that was when people left, which is fair.
When did people start leaving?
Like third quarter, start of the fourth. It was terrible, man. It was not a good atmosphere. It was just defeated. There were a lot of Cowboys fans around me too, but it was just like, we're devastated. And as you should be, that was a terrible start. And that's my thing with the Cowboys. And I can't trust them in the playoffs. I don't trust them after the Niners game. They just weren't ready. And I don't know how you do that, because they didn't wake up till 21-0. Dak was off. Defense was off.
Well, they didn't even wake up at 21-0 because that's when Dak threw the pick six.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I think I've blocked out that game. That was awful.
What went wrong? Schematically?
I think it was something where I was talking about it too, because I went with my mom. It was Aaron Jones was healthy. And I think that's a weakness with the Cowboys is I believe the Packers went 12 personnel, right?
Yeah, that's two tight ends.
Yeah, two tight ends.
And how am I forgetting?
Is it Musgrave?
Yeah, Luke Musgrave, yeah.
And they just overpower the Cowboys, because I've read somewhere that that's what Dan Quinn likes to play small, and that's why they're great against the pass, because they're fast. But they just got out-muscled, and I don't know what Aaron Jones finished up with. And then I don't know what was happening in the secondary. It looks like Dobbs was open.
Yeah, he went for 150. It was just almost a perfect passer rating from Jordan Love.
He made some great. Oh man, what was that? There was one throw. I think it was like a slant where it was like really in between. But I don't think the Cowboys got pressure on him. So
Not consistently.
yeah,
Sometimes
not
they did,
consistently.
Because they would just
So
double Micah and no one else could make any other moves. And as a Packers fan on the other side, I was extremely excited. My grandmother, who's a Packers fan, called me during the game, during the Savage pick six, and she was hype. And it was kind of crazy because while I was excited for the game, I did not think the Packers were going to win because of our defense, Joel Berry's defense. But, I mean, when Dak Prescott's going to stare down CeeDee Lamb the entire night and give you 2 picks, it was a bad performance. And I think we can kind of move on to the repercussions of this game. No way McCarthy returns.
yeah, you can't. Like, I guess I'm a McCarthy defender. Like, he's better than Garrett, but I don't know if he's that guy to get you over the hump. But huh?
What makes it better than Garrett?
Because they've had 3 10-win seasons with him. With Garrett, it was really good
Garrett,
one year.
They got 1 seeds with Garrett.
Yeah, but then what was the next season like?
Does that matter when they've had higher highs? Because McCarthy consistently has failed in the playoffs, and that's when you need to do it. At least Jason Garrett won more playoff games.
That's a good point. McCarthy was more level, and the thing was, I didn't think you could get better than McCarthy. But I know we're still wondering if people get fired, and I think McCarthy gets fired. But to have Vrabel, I think Vrabel would be perfect for this team. I'm very skeptical of the Cowboys. I think for valid reasons. I'm sure people can. And congratulations against the Packers. This is great for y'all. This just hurts me. If Vrabel came to the Cowboys, I think I would be over the moon because I think he's a better coach than McCarthy, absolutely. You could argue a lot more coaches are better, but Vrabel to me is just so smart. And you can see with McCarthy, he has bad clock management. I wasn't a fan of him being a play caller because that's what got him kicked out of Green Bay. I think I remember when you and I talked, when Kellen Moore was getting calling plays, I was like, this makes me feel better because McCarthy is not good at calling games.
Yeah, and you do really have to wonder how much McCarthy impacted their Super Bowl win with the Packers, or was it just Rodgers having one of his best seasons and the defense playing amazing with Charles Woodson, Clay Matthews, and so many other guys? This tarnishes his legacy because this was definitely a team that you expected to go far. And I don't know really what to say. I think Dan Quinn may be out if McCarthy's gone. That's the reason why he stayed, and he'll probably be a head coach somewhere else. I think this is one of the most rich head coaching markets in a very long time between Vrabel, Belichick, some college guys, and then, like I mentioned, Dan Quinn, who kind of deserves a head coaching gig again after getting the Falcons all the way to the Super Bowl, and then he's performed. The defense has been good. I know he's had some bad moments, but
he's had some bad weeks. Like the Packers game's a bad week. But you can also put that on McCarthy. Like they just weren't ready. That's on your coach. You got to be ready for this game.
And Dan Quinn is not he's not going to motivate the players. That's not his job. His job is to call plays. His job is to make sure the defense is ready to play. And while they may have not been perfect, the defense wasn't the downturn of the team. It was the 2 picks Dak threw. That's what determined the game.
Yeah,
it was. Pick and it be inside the red zone, and you can't blame that touchdown. And then a pick 6. Honestly,
and what was the first? Sorry.
Honestly, the defense only gave up 14 points in the first quarter or the first half. Because the first half there was 2 picks, 1 in the red zone, 1 for a pick 6. I don't blame the defense for either of those. Well, the defense definitely gave up a lot of points after that, and they didn't play great. I don't fully blame them. What were you gonna say?
I think it goes to the offense. They just weren't ready. And I think to have a slow start in a game like this, we've seen this Cowboys before. You just can't have that. And like, what was the drive? I think it was the first play in response to the Packers drive. And that was just a great drive where they got through it and just took a lot of time on the clock. And they only had 1 first down. And that was the Dak run on 3rd down, I believe.
Yeah. I feel secondhand embarrassment for the Cowboys fans that felt so confident because this was supposed to be the better year. This was supposed to be the change.
They had the easiest path to the NFC Championship in a long time. You have 2 home games. You're 16-0 at home, which I never believed they were a good road team or home team, just because they have slow starts. I don't know what it is, and I think that relies on coaching. And I like your point. This is a great head coaching market, even though I feel Belichick is a little bit old. Oh man, who is twin safe? Oh, McCourty. I don't know which McCourty it was. It's the guy on NBC. He said, no matter Belichick would never have the team do that, and I'm like, I absolutely agree. And my number one coach would be Vrabel. Because if Vrabel took a team to an AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill, and say whatever you want to say about Ryan Tannehill, I think Dak's a better quarterback than Tannehill. And I think
he was an MVP candidate, though.
He was an MVP candidate. I can't believe he got fired. And the other thing I want to say is he's had some pretty good OCs. Arthur Smith was not a good head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, but he was a pretty good coordinator. And then you're very familiar with the previous coordinator before him, I believe. Wasn't it LaFleur? Or was he just a QB's coach?
LaFleur was in the 49ers. He was at the 49ers.
I thought he was the OC for a little bit with the Titans. Or maybe. Yeah, he...
Oh, he was 1 year in 2018, yeah.
Okay, it was 1 year. Okay, yeah, it wasn't long. But yeah, LaFleur comes with, he's part of that Shanahan and McVay.
Oh yeah, because they were all together with Washington. That's when they were all together.
Yeah.
And he was with Dan Quinn, I believe, with the Falcons. Yeah, he was.
Yes, Dan Quinn is 0-6 against previous coordinators, Kyle Shanahan, LaFleur, and Mike McDaniel. Because they were with each other in Atlanta as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not LaFleur, but Kyle Shanahan. LaFleur was. Okay, yeah. Because McVay had already left. There's going to be a 30 for 30 on that Washington team.
Yeah. And I think we can move past the Cowboys. We've talked to the Cowboys for a while. Let's go to the let's just go straight into the 49ers Packers matchup, and then we'll stay in the NFC. Yeah. What are your thoughts about this game? I think the Packers have a chance. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for me to watch. Personally, the Packers. But here's the thing. Aaron Jones, I think, is healthy at the right time for the Packers. And maybe it was Chris Collinsworth, or maybe you said something about they're young wide receivers, and the wide receivers have developed something with Jordan Love. Now you get Aaron Jones back healthy. That, to me, and the run game, I think, sets everything up.
Yeah, I still take the 49ers winning this game. I'm sure you do as well.
Yes.
Because of how dangerous they are. But I really like what a season for the Packers. If they do lose, even if it is a blowout against the Niners, this season has been remarkable, and I'm really excited for the future.
And one thing on the Niners that I think is going to be the key is, it's still a great thing for the Packers. So happy for the Packers fans. Congrats. Good win. And then for the Niners, it's hitting Jordan Love. That's what the Cowboys going to do. If you can get to Jordan Love early, and it's basically true with every quarterback, if you can hit a quarterback and get in their head and get them worried about pressure, I think Jordan Love will not play as well as he did against the Cowboys. And because he's young, but he has played well. It's just the Niners have a great pass rush. And how does the run game, because that's going to, I'm just going to keep going back to the run game, because if you have a solid run game, you can do play action, you can get defenders to bite on the play action, which gives Jordan Love more time to find his wide receivers. However, that is a very difficult task because you have the linebacking core is insane for the Niners.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I am excited for this game, but we can move on to the Rams Lions. My Lions prediction stays alive. I will say that of our predictions, the ones that we needed to win have won. I guess for you have Ravens Niners, so that isn't all that important. But
And
me,
I believe you and I are tied on picks because I was undefeated on Saturday with Texans because I had Texans winning and but then I went well with the Packers, but you had Lions winning, which knocks me. And then you and I both had Eagles winning. But yeah, back to the Lions Rams game. That was probably the best game. Yeah, best game of the weekend, and I missed some of it.
Yeah, it was great, but the Lions move on and they play the Bucks in Detroit. So they, even though after the whole gaffe that we saw with in the Cowboys game, they do get a home game out of it, and they're playing a very hot Bucks team.
Yes, we can go on to the Bucks Eagles. What I miss because I was traveling. Did the Eagles get a touchdown?
Yes.
I saw. Okay, they did get a touchdown. I thought it was 3 field goals. But yeah, how about this Bucks team? How about Baker Mayfield? Which is looking back on it, I remember there's that quote of me with Todd Bowles. I didn't feel great about it last year with Tom Brady. Now you get Baker Mayfield, and yeah, let's just see. Maybe they're tanking for Caleb. But no, they won the NFC South, and they played really well against the Eagles and won.
Yeah, I can't believe this Baker run we've seen. It's been remarkable. The Eagles' collapse has to be studied, and it has come out that Jason Kelce is going to retire. So he's a great guy, and I do wish him the best. But the Eagles' collapse was crazy. AJ Brown was out, but they still didn't look. They looked very, very bad. And now the NFC East, who had 2 teams, 11+ wins, finishes their playoff journeys quickly.
And the Eagles went in the last 7 games when they started after starting 10-1, beating the Chiefs. They lost 6 of their last 7 games, including this. And we talked about McCarthy. Do you fire Nick Sirianni?
No, I don't think you can.
Would you be shocked if it happened?
Yes, because he's made the playoffs in all 3 years.
Good point. I'm going to say I wouldn't be shocked because they fired Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl.
Peterson was actively.
Oh yeah, that was the weird Peter
against the owner's wishes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't fire him. I think you have to clean house on the coordinator situation. You just need a restart. Because he had Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. I think replacing them has caused a lot of trouble because you went with Matt Patricia. Well, I don't remember the defensive coordinator before Matt Patricia. And then I'm not sure about Brian Johnson. It's just maybe it's the coordinators need restructuring.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see.
Now we go to, but these games should be good. I think Packers, Rams will be, Niners will be good. And you have LaFleur versus Shanahan. And now Lions and Baker, or Lions and Bucks. You got Baker versus Jared Goff, 2 number 1 picks who have dealt with reputation where I think some of it has been earned, but they've both had pretty good seasons. Both played well in the playoffs because I know the Lions only scored 3, but Jared Goff, I think, had a really good stat line in the Lions game. Do you know exactly?
I think remember.
He was 22 for 27 for 277 yards and threw 1 touchdown pass. So these are two number one picks who've dealt with a lot on different teams. How do they do it? Which is insane. And yeah, one of them earns an NFC Championship appearance.
That's true.
Now, do you want to go over to the AFC?
Yeah, let's do that.
Now you have the Texans Browns, where what a start from CJ Stroud. The first half was great. I think it was competitive. Then it just got away from the Browns in the second half.
Yeah, it really was the defense that let down the Browns. They could not guard anyone on that Texas offense. Devin Singletary, Nico Collins, Brevin Jordan, anyone. And CJ Stroud tore him to shreds. D'Amico Ryans moves on, and while it is a regular season award, I mean, I think D'Amico Ryans proves that Coach of the Year bid is worthy.
Yes, definitely worthy. Man. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, what a turnaround for the Texans. Dealing with quarterback controversy with Deshaun Watson, trading him, Davis Mills, and then drafting CJ Stroud after losing the number one overall pick because they won. And CJ Stroud looks like the real deal. I'm so excited for it's Texans Ravens. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Lamar Jackson versus CJ Stroud. That's going to be incredible. Now let's go to Chiefs versus Dolphins. And the offense seemed to be much better for the Chiefs. And then the conditions were just too rough for the Dolphins.
Yeah. The injuries piled up on their defense, and they couldn't stop Chiefs-led offense. It was just, I don't really know what to say. It was so bad. I don't know if it's on Tua or Mike McDaniel, but their offense just could get nothing going. And I do think that it's concerning considering that they, for back-to-back years, have looked promising and then not even won one playoff game.
Yes, that's a really good point. I still think you give McDaniel one more year. I don't think it's time to panic, but it's a big year for McDaniel and Tua as well.
Yeah. At what point are we having a conversation about Tua and his playoff performances? I guess this is his first playoff game, but still, it was not a good game by him, and he definitely needs to show some improvement for me to be more confident in him.
And then I forgot this. You got Bills over Steelers. I picked the Steelers. I'm surprised the Steelers were able to score 17 points. Buffalo scored 31, which isn't surprising to me. DJ Watt was out, but it looks like the Bills. I'll let you talk more about this game. I missed part of it because I was traveling, but it looks like you got this right, and then we have Bills versus Chiefs.
Yeah, the Steelers tried to make it close, but their defense really couldn't stop Josh Allen and co. And then they also had a big fumble by George Pickens. Mason Rudolph threw a pick. It wasn't the best performance, but we do end up with Bills versus Chiefs in Buffalo.
Oh, I forgot about that. In Buffalo.
Yeah, and this is a legacy game for Josh Allen.
Yes.
Is
Gabe Davis
to
healthy?
The Chiefs, if it's another loss to the Chiefs, I think I'm completely out.
Would it, if it's just a loss for the Chiefs and Allen throws no picks, have you lost faith completely?
You're saying if Buffalo wins?
If Buffalo loses, but it's like 40-35.
How many excuses can we give him? There's been a lot of times they've lost in the playoffs, and there's many excuses given to that. I'm done with excuses. You need to win.
Okay. You need to win. Okay.
That's
a fair thing to say, because deservingly or not, quarterbacks.
When he's talked about, as he has talked about, it necessitates winning. And I had that same problem with Lamar, but I think Lamar will get it done. I believe in Lamar. And this is definitely a huge. If Lamar loses to the Texans next week, I will be just as hard on Lamar as I am on Josh Allen. However, I do need to see something. I need to see winning. There's a chance for him to regain my confidence by playing well next year and maybe doing something next year. But for the time being, if he loses is the game on Saturday?
I'm gonna say yes. Oh no, it's Sunday. Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Why? That's weird. 5:30 p.m. is just a weird time to start a game.
Yeah,
but Sunday.
If they lose on Sunday, again, my faith in Josh Allen will be low, to say the least.
Yes, and I really like what you said because I was kind of going there too, where you said a quarterback that he's been talked about, like I've talked about him and other people have talked about him, the way they're talked about necessitates winning. Deservedly or undeservedly, a quarterback's going to receive acclamation for a win or negativity for a loss, no matter if they played well, just because if you want to be a top-tier quarterback in this league, you got to help your team to a win. We've seen Mahomes do it. Obviously, the gold standard is Tom Brady. So, and gold standard is probably an understatement. Titanium or supreme.
Platinum.
Gold. Platinum, yeah. That's a good way of saying it. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by this. I think saying he's not going to turn over the ball is the
Chiefs' better side
Matrix
is their
world.
Yeah, the Chiefs' better side is their defense.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just, can the offense do enough? And
I picked the Bills to win this game, correct?
Yes, you picked this. You are on something. I had Chiefs versus Texans. So, and I have Chiefs going, but it's different.
Well, your two teams can survive still.
Yes, my two teams can survive.
And that's the same for both of us and both. Oh, wait, no. Because you had Rams. You had Rams Niners, right?
Yeah, I had Rams Niners. So Lions knocked me out, but and kind of going on to Lamar too, because I had this for Dak, because I was talking about it with my brother, is to me Dak has an incredible stain on his playoffs. And I'm like, I just don't think he's a quarterback that you can win with the Super Bowl. He can win a Super Bowl, but it's not going to be because of him. He's just going to be a part of the team. Josh Allen, I don't know about that. That's a great point. And I like what you said about Lamar Jackson. As much as I love Lamar, his playoff resume is not good.
We need to see something out of it. But here's the difference is I believe in him, and I don't necessarily believe in Josh Allen. So while
I'm on that. I love Lamar. I was on Lamar Jackson. I can't. Teams should be kicking themselves that they could have at least tried to go get him. I'm not saying they could have got him, but make an effort. Make a call. All right, Ravens, what would it take? But this is all behind them now. It's in the past. And Josh Allen, I'm not really sure how to feel about him. And this is a big year for Sean McDermott.
I think he deserves to be fired if they lose this game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if there's a late second drive that the offense puts. Because you're a defensive coach, and he struggles with doing that.
Let me put it this way. You mentioned the 40-35 loss to the Chiefs. If it's a 40-35 loss, I don't see how Sean McDermott's the head coach next year. I just don't see it.
Absolutely. Especially with the Chiefs offense has dealt with a lot. It's what was your score prediction for this game?
I have it.
As you look over that, because I envision if the Chiefs are going to win, it's going to have to be a low-scoring defense because this defense is incredible. Their offense has great players like Mahomes and Kelsey. Rashee Rice is good. I don't think he's great yet.
I had the Bills winning 27-23.
Okay. Yeah, and that I see in that scenario, I don't think the Chiefs offense scores more than 25, and I feel I'm stretching it there.
We'll have to see. And like your question about Rashee Rice, he is very good, and we'll have to see if he is great. His playoff performances can definitely take him up to that tier, but there's a lot of concerning things about both of these teams. I honestly like either the Texans or the Ravens over these two teams based on how they're playing at the moment because of how consistent they've been. But at least when CJ Stroud is healthy. But this is a huge game. Who
Yes, and I hope or what?
You said you have Bills?
No, I'm gonna go Chiefs.
Okay.
And do you think that's an accurate way to describe the Chiefs offense? They have great players, but they're not a great unit or great offense.
Yeah, that's relatively fair. I definitely think that they struggle in places where they shouldn't, and I'm definitely not on the high ends of a lot of their guys, whether it's Sky Moore or Kadarius Toney or a lot of other people. I am not the highest on, but I do think that they have some great talent, and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes could always get you a good playoff game when needed.
And Kelsey as well. Kelsey's a great piece. It's Kelsey and Mahomes, and then you have great interior line. I'm gonna say Chiefs win. I'll go 20-17.
Okay, I'll stick with
And
mine.
yeah, I hope. I didn't feel Wild Card Weekend lived up to the hype because it's been such a crazy year, and there are only 2 games that were close.
What was the second game?
Rams, Lions, Bills, Steelers.
What was the other game? No, Bill. It's still 14 point. There's only
Okay, yeah. So
was one game. That was good.
One game. I really hope this divisional round. AFC sounds amazing. NFC sounds amazing. Really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to talk about it. And I'll toss this over to the winner of the Packers versus Cowboys, Austin.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. And what are your predictions for these playoffs? Thanks again.